Jacinta Champeile, aged 45, began growing sugar canes 30 years ago on a small piece of land in Nachivubo wetland. Today, that piece of land is no longer part of the wetland. It is part of the land where hundreds of new walls, barriers and fences have been built, and there are many types: barricades between plots of land, walls around houses, and fences that zigzag through the land that was formerly a wetland. But this has not stopped Jacinta from growing sugar canes. She keeps shifting her garden into the remaining part of this wetland, which connects the city of Kampala to Lake Victoria at the inner Murchison Bay.
Amanya gange nze Jacinta Kampire Narongo, ndima bikajjo mbirimira saidi ya Nakivubo. Ebikajjo bino kutandika kubirima bimara myezi mukaaga mwezi gw'omusanvu mbatandise okutema. Kati nemara myezi emirala 3 nentandika era kutema. Nali nzijemu akayumba era kaako kali awo ebikajjo bino. Nsomesemu abaana basoma n'okulya n'ebirala kalo n'obulwadde. Naye oluusi ebiseera ebisinga ku lw'emyezi gire egigenda mu maaso nga sifunamu. Awo oluusi mbeera sifuna nenjiyiriza mu birala.
Jacinta is one of the people that benefit from Nachivubo wetland by growing cocoyams, vegetables, sugarcane, mining sand, collecting water for domestic purposes, and harvesting fodder for feeding livestock.
Buzibu bwetufuna kati amazzi bwe gabeera mangi. Ebikajjo biseera bisinga bifa. Wayinza okugyamu ebiveera kati ebyo byonna ne birwala na mujinga n'obitemera wansi. Bwe buzibu bwetufunamu kati awo ne tukosebwa.
Katabazi Fred has lived in this wetland for the whole of his life. He was born in 1974 to parents that also lived and grew crops in this wetland.
Mukubira ddala mu mwaka ogw'ensanvu bwe nagenda nakula nga ndaba muzeeyi wange kikyakola kuba muzeeyi yali akola mu coffee marketing board, naye oluvannyuma lw'okumuyimiriza ku coffee najja nakola nakola ennimiro. Kati mu nnimiro zino tulimiramu kasooli, tulimiramu ebikajjo, tulimiramu ebijanjaalo awamu n'amayuuni. Nga bino ebintu bino bituyamba ku mbeera ez'okwebeezaawo mu embeera z'obulamu bwaffe, kubanga emirimu kati gwe gulinga ng'omulimu gwaffe. Nga bino ebintu bino bisobodde okunnyambako okusomesa abaana n'okuyamba ku maka muzeeyi ge yandekera. Abaana nga taamu emu omwana omu muweerera school fees ya mitwalo 4. Kati mitwalo 4 ninamu abaana 6 abasoma, nga mulimu n'abaana bakoze abamazeeko mu by'okusoma.
Like Katabazi, Kansime Florence, a mother of 5 children who sells sugarcane grown in this wetland, says she has been able to support her family using the funds she gets from this business.
Me, the way how I see this business, it is good anyway, because the money which I get from there, it can help me with my family. Yeah, for example, we buy their food, we buy soaps, everything, and even I get there some small money which I can add with my husband to take it at school for school fees of my kids.
But as these people continue earning livelihood from the wetland, a new study by researchers at Makerere University has found that this is occurring at the expense of the main ecosystem service that this wetland used to provide: wastewater treatment.
So the natural wetland, which has been on for some time, the early 50s, 40s, it was originally meant to treat water. So the runoff from Kampala and also Bogorov sewage works will pass through this wetland before it enters Lake Victoria. But with time, people have started encroaching on the wetland. So the papyrus, which was there originally, is now dominated, as you can see, by crops, which are not supposed to be in a wetland, like maize. You see bananas and then yams. And what these guys do, as you can see here, they dig a channel so that the water goes into the channel, and then they heap the soil, and that's why they grow the crops. For example, you see the maize is in the ridge because they cannot survive underwater.
The researchers, led by Professor Dr. Frank Kansime of Makerere University, Department of Environmental Management, note that 56% of this wetland has been modified majorly due to industrial development and cultivation of crops. They assessed the economic value of the ecosystem services provided by Nakivubo wetland, a tropical and perennial wetland.
So the draining of the wetland has actually caused the loss of vegetation, which has finally impacted on the quality of the water that finally enters into Lake Victoria. And according to National Water, they are now spending more money treating the water in the lake than they used to do before, because now the vegetation which was treating the water is no longer there. It is dominated by the crops.
The researchers observed and interviewed people who use and live around the wetland during the May to July 2015 study. Up to 103 respondents were randomly selected from 15 villages of Nakawa and Makinde divisions to take part in this assessment study. On average, the study concludes there are 206 farmers engaged in sugarcane growing in the 3 parishes around Nakivubo wetland, and each farmer gets a net income of about 27.1 million Ugandan shillings. That is about $7,900 per year after excluding the amount of sugar canes that a farmer consumes along with people in his or her household.
Naye mu bulimi obwo waliwo abantu era nga ffe tuli baana, waliwo bakitafa abaasookamu, bakujja baffe, kati so baasookanga kulima amayuuni. Then bwe bava mu kulima amayuuni ne tufunayo ennima endala ey'okulima ebikajjo. Nenga okusinzira nga amayuuni gano gazze gakendeeramu amaanyi, kati ne tusa nti katuteekemu ebikajjo. Kati ekikajjo ekyo bwe tuba tumaze okukirima nakyo kibaamu okulongoosebwa, ate nakyo bwe tulaba nga oluusi awantu kizze kigaanawo, nawo tukyusa ne tulimamu kasooli. Ne kasooli ono naye bw'aba ng'agize sizoni tukyusa ne tulimamu ebijanjaalo, tulimamu ebijanjaalo, bwe bito ebintu bwe bijja tukola ki tubisengeka.
Yams are the most common grown food crops within this wetland. There are 67 yam growers around Nakivubo wetland, and per hectare, in a single harvest, 4,000 kilograms of yams are harvested.
Kakati n'ennima yaffe ey'amayuuni nti tugatta omulengo, naye twasookera emirengo gyaffe gino egy'amayuuni okusookera ddala twatandika ku nusu 5 nga tukola amayuuni 6. Kati bwe twagendanga tulaba nti embeera ebintu bigenda birinya ebbeeyi, naffe ne tulinyisa ne tutuuka ku nusu 10 era ku mayuuni 6. Era bwe twavaawo ne twongeramu ne twongeramu 1,500. Kakati deni bwe twamala ate ne twongeramu kati ne ziba nusu 1,000, 1,200. Tibwe tulenga amayuuni gaffe amayuuni 6 nga makulu bulungi, ze 1,000, 1,200. Aba gajje wano wennyini we tukolera. Kati bw'aba gatuteerimu owino ate awo asobola okugatunda 3,000 oba 5,000.
Each farmer earns 1,776,121.61 Ugandan shillings. That's about $500 per year from the growth of yams per hectare. Evidently, this makes the growing of the two crops a lucrative business in a country where unemployment remains a serious challenge. And as Kato Kasim, the farmer's boss, explains, these farmers are not about to leave the wetland.
Kakati ffe tukuba omulanga ffe bwe tubanga gavumenti etulowoozeeko kusinziira ku nfuna yaffe n'abaana baffe kwe bayimiridde tukoze families tetulina weetulaga okuggyako okugamba nti etujje wano ng'erina awantu waatujja n'agamba nti bwe muba tubajja wano tubateeke wano ekyo tuba tukkiriziganya ne gavumenti naye naffe tuli bannayuganda.
Nile wetland, located both in Nakawa and Makindye divisions in Kampala City, connects Kampala City to Lake Victoria at the inner Murchison Bay. It is approximately 2.5 square kilometers, of which 56% is modified by agriculture and industrial activities. Bordered by residential areas both in the west and in the east, an industrial area in the north and Lake Victoria in the south, Nile wetland covers Kisugu and Bukasa wards in Makindye division and Bugolobi, Luzira prisons and Luzira wards in Nakawa division. Nile wetland plays a major role in wastewater treatment, with most of the wastewater from Kampala City passing through the wetland before it discharges into Lake Victoria at the inner Murchison Bay. For more than 40 years now, Nile Channel has been discharging treated and partially treated wastewater from Kampala City into the Nile wetland. With the surrounding areas under leasehold, freehold and minor land tenure systems, Nile wetland is on public land. In Kanyogoga zone, up to 800 people depend directly or indirectly on this wetland. Asimwe Naftali is the chairperson of this zone.
We have, by the way, an open market that business people comes from Kampala City. They come here and buy our crops. Like they come and buy yams, they come and buy sugarcane, they come and buy maize. Then we go and sell in the open market in Kampala and around Kampala.
Writing in the final report, the researchers concluded that nearly all men, that is 96.7% of the respondents, noted that Nile wetland has changed from the way it was 10 years ago. Likewise, majority of female respondents, that's 82.9%, noted that the wetland has changed over the same period. Asimwe narrates that this is inevitable because most people derive their livelihood from this natural resource.
The wetland is so good because it has helped our people in terms of food, in terms of money, in terms of living.
Bugorobi and Luzira are the most parts of the wetland utilized by respondents for crop growing or exploitation of other wetland resources. The assessment study attributes changes in Nile wetland to settlement in the wetland, increased amount of water and chemical pollutants. The main changes pointed out in the study were building in the wetland, increase in water in the wetland, declining products and species from this wetland, a decline in growing of yams, and finally, a decline in the ability of the wetland to retain water and control floods.
But as a government, what we have done, we are coming up with new proposals on how to put it back or how to restore it. One of the steps we have taken is to demarcate it. As you see it now, it is demarcated, the boundaries are very clear. The second step is to come up with a management plan, and then later we go into restoration. We have already started some restoration efforts, We have submitted a proposal for restoration to the Secretariat, but we are still waiting for response.
As a result of these changes, the wetland dwellers are now turning to other activities as an adjustment to the declining ecosystem services. Nakivubo wetland is not the only wetland in Uganda facing pressure from neighboring communities that may result in extinction if not controlled. Data from Uganda's Ministry of Water and Environment indicates that up to 30% of Uganda's wetlands were lost between 1994 to 2008. In this period, Uganda's wetlands reduced from 37,575.4 square kilometers in 1996 to 26,307.7 square kilometers in 2008.
Yeah, of course, the message mainly goes to the urban dwellers within Kampala. You know what is interesting? They degraded Nachivubo, which is supposed to treat water which they use for drinking. Now, this water goes to Lake Victoria, they pump it back, and that's what we use. So I think one of the cautions I would give out is that they should mind their wastes right at household level. Before you send out waste which you throw away and ends up in Nachivubo, which is actually contaminating the lake, you should treat your waste at household level.
And the encroachers of these wetlands are not doing so out of ignorance. Because according to this study, majority of the male respondents, that is 75.4%, reported having knowledge of institutions and policies that govern the use of wetlands, and 50% of the female respondents reported knowledge of institutions and policies that govern wetland use. The study documented agriculture as the main activity in the wetland. Apart from sugar canes and yams, other crops grown in the wetland include vegetables. Each household engaged in vegetable growing earns about 507,998.8 Uganda shillings, that is about $150 per year, according to the study. And also, each household harvesting fodder in this wetland for feeding livestock gets 15.9 million Ugandan shillings, that is about $4,700 per year. Other products harvested from this wetland include sand, clay, papyrus, fish and water, according to the assessment study. The products from the wetland are not only consumed at home, but also sold within and outside the community, including Kampala City.
When I buy sugarcane for each southern, anyway, I will remain with for 1,000 because I got many their customers in this sugarcane. Per day, I can get 90. For example, when it is Sunday, or northern people, they like to eat sugarcane here. Sincerely speaking, when I tell you, you cannot believe. Yeah.
The direct use value of the main provisioning services of Nachivubo wetland local communities, one household per hectare per year is worth over $14,800, the study found out. Besides economic value, the vegetation Nakivubo wetland slows down the speed of water flowing into the wetland, treats wastewater, provides fuel wood, craft material, and medicinal plants. The wetland also provides a habitat for different flora and fauna, attracts tourists, and provides a research and educational environment. This is according to the study.
There are so many beneficiaries from this wetland, and therefore we should put our combined efforts to protect it. For us, our role is to guide them on how to do it. But we cannot do it on our own. We have to work with local communities, we have to work with the media. The media has also to help us in awareness, because people have to know the importance of this wetland.
Just like other male-dominated businesses worldwide, the study discovered that local communities carrying out activities in achievable wetland are dominated by males at 59.2%. But what is interesting is that the female population is more likely than their male counterparts to be affected in case of any evictions from exploitation of wetland resources. Producing of the most common food crops in the swamp, yams, is considered extremely important by both males and females compared with growing pumpkins, mining sand, and collecting water for sale. Other economic activities in this wetland include fishing, which is dominated by males, while sugarcane and vegetable growing is dominated by females. The study concludes that although this wetland is providing livelihoods to the surrounding communities, this will in the long run compromise water quality in the Murchison Bay, the place where the water supply for Kampala is abstracted.
And what we found out is that actually sugarcane is currently the dominant activity. It is also dominated by men, and we suspect the reason is the returns that come out of that business. Then the women are more towards yams and vegetables. And according to what they told us, actually they can support their families from that process. So it will be a bit difficult for government to get them out of the system. But also if the wetland has to do what it is to do, I think it's inevitable they have to get out. Maybe they reach a point where they have a management plan, and then the farmers can be at the edge of the wetland.
It subsequently recommends restoration of the wetland with natural vegetation, limiting of agricultural activities to the wetland edge, and holding of consultations to formulate a comprehensive wetland management plan. This, Barugare Vincent, the Principal Wetlands Officer in charge of wetlands management in the Ministry of Water and Environment, says is possible.